Waking up early in the morning, we had our breakfast just a few blocks away from our hostel. Walking to the bus station, it was just across the road from where we stayed. Arrived at the bus station. We used UU card for the bus. I cannot recall how much we were charged, but it was quite a cheap ride.
Soon after,
we get down the bus at the stop named Swallow Grotto. It's the entrance to Zhuilu Old Trail. The trail starts with this suspension bridge. It was raining as we start our hike. Since our trip to Taiwan is mainly a cycling trip, we didn't prepare ourselves some serious hiking shoes. Luckily, the trail was well maintained. We are glad to have two sisters accompanying us. They are Taiwanese that came from the other part of the island. Coincidentally, they stayed at the same hostels with us last night. We've reached the second suspension bridge of this trail. This bridge was higher than the first one. We are just 1 hour into the hike, and we still have 1 more hour to go. Second rest stopped. They treated us with chocolate. As the elevation gets higher, we know that we are getting closer to the cliff. After that steel bridge, here we are, the cliff. The width of the path from here on is so narrow that some from the opposite direction has to stop and let us through before they can carry on their hike. We were told that this trail was set up by the Taroko tribe. At first, the width was only about 30 centimeters. During the Japanese occupation era, the tribe was forced by the Japanese to expand the trail. They then used it to transport cannons deep into the mountains to wage war against the Taroko tribe. In the end, the tribe lost the war. The trail was also used as an observation spot by the Japanese because all the movement at the bottom of the cliff can be seen easily. The surface of this trail at this part was mainly covered with loose rocks. Only some parts of the cliff trails was covered with safety railing. It's hard to imagine the hardship that the workers went through. Struck this trail while they were only offered with some primitive tools such as chisels and pickaxes. Dynamite was only used later in the expansion project. We are standing at the height of 550 meters from the ground below. That's equivalent to standing on top of Taipei 101. Although I'm holding my camera, all the focus goes to my feet. Have to be very careful not to slip and fall. To get to this trail, we had to apply for permit. We were told that only about 100 hikers are allowed in this trail each day. To apply for permit, we had to go to the National Park website. It's quite easy for the foreigners to get the permit. compared to the locals as there is a quota system in place. Upon entering, we were required to pay 200 Taiwanese dollar per person for the ticket. Aside from focusing on our footsteps, we also have to look out for rocks above our head. As some part of this cliff the roof is quite low. If you have helmet, wear it too. Rock fall is possible on this trail. The end of the trail is quite steep and slippery, as you can see here. We have reached the end of the trail. Then we start our descent.
2 hours later.
Waiting for the shuttle bus. The bus system here is quite easy to navigate. You only have one way in and another way out of this national park.
Much later.
We arrived at the next spot. It's called Tunnel of 9 Turns. This trail is much well established. It has public toilets and wide paths, suitable for all ages. This trail is about 700 meters long. You can finish it within half an hour. Though this trail is way easier, the view is no less gorgeous than the one in Zhuilu Old Trail. This roof above us was built to prevent rockfall. It also provides support for the cliffs. For hundreds of thousands of years, the river cuts through the marble bedrock, forming the gorge today. Local Taiwanese likes to call this view 大自然的鬼斧神刀. It literally means work done by ghost axe and God's knife. Mother Nature's work of art at its best. This place marks the end of the trail. Then we walk back to the entrance, waiting for the bus again to go to the next stop. Hungry, make sure you bring your own food. We don't see any food stalls in this national park.
Much late.
We arrived at a stop called 绿水, which means green water. We passed through this special tunnel. It's about 30 meters long. Inside the tunnel, it's total darkness. Upon reaching this part of the trail, we were forced to turn back. There was a roadblock stating that the trail was closed due to rockfall. We are on our way back. To sum it all up, this is the road that our bus went through. Then we ride the train back to Hualien.
Later that same evening.
4:30 p.m. It's dinner time. Tomorrow we leave Hualien and headed north towards Nan'ao.